In 2015, less than 2 crore Indians invested in the stock market, and that number today has shot up to 12 crore. For context, that's almost the entire population of Japan. And it's not just stocks, mutual funds have exploded too. Indians investing in mutual funds have grown from 5 crore to 15 crore in the same period. This is an unprecedented growth, something that shows you how rapidly our economy has formalized, and more importantly, how the trust of people in India's capital markets has grown. Now, in terms of sheer numbers, India is already in the top 3 countries when it comes to total number of investors. And according to the current growth here, it will become number 1 in the next 5 to 7 years. But how did this happen? And what's behind this crazy growth in the last 10 years? Of course, there can't be one single reason. A big chunk of our population has moved to cities, their incomes have grown, which means there is more disposable money now. Also, the government and media have played an important role in educating people about the markets. But in my opinion, one of the most important reasons is the rise of young startups in this domain. These startups have made it extremely easy for people to start investing in the markets. And if there is one startup that has had the most impact, at least in terms of total users it has brought, it is Groww. Groww is just 8 years old and it is already the largest stockbroking platform in India in terms of total users. And in FY25, 40% of all new investors in India have come because of this one company, which is absolutely dominant. And now Groww is going public, which is a great time to understand the company's journey till now. What has made it a phenomenal success till now, and what are some changes the company is making in its business model to get ready for the public markets? Let's understand all this in this video of Backstage with Millionaires, a channel that's also part of Zerodha's 01 network. Okay, so before we come to Groww, we need to understand what gap it saw in the market. See, in 2016, these 4 were working in Flipkart and were seeing very closely how India is changing. They saw the rise of India's digital reach, the payment revolution, and the overall adoption of e-commerce. They understood that hundreds of millions of Indians are getting online every year, and there's a big opportunity to build Flipkart-like companies in other areas like finance. See, the key insight that Lalit and his friends had at Flipkart is that technology along with customer-centric focus can bring societal changes. And with that thought, they started Groww in 2016 to make investing as easy and accessible as e-commerce. But why did they pick investing? Well, that's because it was the largest, most broken, and the biggest opportunity in India's fintech at the time. See, the one data point that gave the founders conviction to build an investing platform was that almost 200 million Indians had investable income in 2016, but only 10% of those, or around 20 million, actually invested in the markets. And the main reason behind this gap was that investing was too complex for people to navigate. See, try to imagine India's retail investing scene in 2016. You either had traditional bank-based brokers like HDFC Securities, ICICI Direct, or you had some new players like Zerodha and Upstocks. But all these players were targeting the established traders, people who already understood trading and its complex jargons. In addition, the entire process to begin investing, right from physical paperwork to high commissions, was so difficult that new users did not even try. And this is what Groww and its founders decided to solve, to make investing as easy and accessible as online shopping. Now, similar to how Groww wanted to make investing easy, we have today's sponsor B10X that wants to make AI education as accessible as possible. See, we are all in a weird moment right now. AI is slowly entering into our workplaces, and the truth is most people have no idea really how to deal with it. But at the same time, people who are early adopters who are integrating AI in their workflow are killing it. There are people in their 20s and early 30s who are jumping from 12 LPA to 30 to 40 LPA in less than a year. Then there are founders who are raising millions of dollars to build the next breakthrough AI product, and mid-level managers getting VP promotions in 6 months. And all of this because these people learned the most important skill of this generation, and that is to use AI in their workflow. And you will be seeing it around you as well. While thousands of people are getting laid off every day, there are people who are getting record packages. And this is precisely what our today's sponsor B10X helps people in. Its founders Aditya Kachave and Aditya Goenka, both from IT Kharagpur, have already trained more than 1 lakh professionals on how to master different AI tools. And this Sunday at 11 AM, they are hosting a 3-hour-long live AI workshop to teach you how you can integrate AI in your workflow. Here you'll learn how to automate everything: data analysis, presentations, reports, dashboards, coding, content creation, research, basically every time-consuming task that's keeping you busy but not really moving you forward. So whether you're trying to break into senior management, pivot your career, or scale your business past the initial stage, this is the skill that'll separate you from everyone else stuck at the same level. So sign up for this workshop by clicking on the link in the description down below. And now coming back to the video. Now, once it was clear to Lalit and his co-founders that they want to build an investing platform, the question was how to begin. What is the one service they should start with? And they picked mutual funds because it was a very simple product.
And then kind of mutual funds stuck there because number one, it was a very simple product for retail investors. You can start with very small amounts and then very diversified, very well protected by the regulators and so on. So it was almost like book for Amazon or Flipkart, right? So you buy a book from Amazon or Flipkart, is the same, like, so for $500 you can buy a book. For $500 you can buy a mutual fund, right? So that's how we started.
Also, back in 2016-17, acquiring a stock trader was tough and costly, as the traders at the time already had accounts with all these established players that we have already talked about, and they had years of relationship with them. And it was very hard to get these users to use a different platform. I mean, it would have taken a lot of money burning on ads and discounts. But the mutual funds market was open for disruption. No one was seriously going after this market at the time, and people who wanted to invest in mutual funds were still going through offline channels by visiting bank branches, filling out paperwork, or relying on agents who charged hefty commissions. And the entire digital experience of buying mutual funds was either clunky or non-existent. And this gave Groww a big white space. So in May 2017, the company launched Groww as a direct mutual fund distribution platform. Their target for the first month was to get 100 customers, but they ended up getting 600. And that's because their platform was so clean compared to others. Look at this. This is Groww's first ever website from 2017. People here could search for all sorts of mutual funds, invest in one click, and track all their portfolio at one place. In a way, they had made buying mutual funds as easy as online shopping, a vision that they had started with. Now, once the platform was live, Groww also started educating people about mutual funds and related subjects. See these videos from their early days where the team is making content about terms like STP or they're reviewing different mutual funds.
Today we'll be talking about Mere Asset Emerging Mutual Fund.
Basically, the idea was to make people understand in very simple language where they're investing their money at. And if you notice something, these are the founders of Groww themselves, Ishan and Harsh, which shows how seriously the team thought of content. And this was indeed a very important bet that the company took early on, something that's giving them results till even today. Now, once the customers started coming for mutual funds, Groww realized that they can offer these people other investment options as well. I mean, once someone got comfortable putting 500 or 1000 rupees every month into an SIP, introducing them to stocks became much easier. And so pretty soon Groww also launched things like stocks, future run options, and IPOs. Now, while working on this video, I watched a lot of interviews of Groww's founders, mainly because I was just fascinated with this company. I mean, building such a massive company in the broking business is pretty impressive, and I just wanted to learn everything that the team did right. And one overarching thing that I found was just extreme customer obsession in everything they did. And Groww's founders learned the value of customer obsession mainly from their Flipkart days, from Sachin and Binny Bansal, and by reading Jeff Bezos' letters to shareholders. And let me give you a few examples to show how Groww really put customer first. The first example is of building a mobile first product. See, when Groww was launched in 2016, trading was a desktop-dominated industry, and most players treated mobile as just an add-on. For example, this is how the two leading discount broking platforms at the time, Zerodha's Kite and Upstox Pro Web, looked like. All the important features there like charts, models, analysis tools, everything was built for desktop first. Sure, they had a mobile app too, but it felt like a stripped down version of their main platform. But Groww looked at things differently. They were building for the millions who had never owned a system in the first place. Someone like a tier 2 college student investing 500 rupees every month, or a young professional making trades on a crowded train, or a homemaker experimenting with SIPs between the household chores. And for these people, mobile wasn't a channel, it was the only option. And so Groww built their platform for the phone from day 2021. It had clean design, thumb-friendly navigation, and bite-sized explanation that made investing feel as casual as ordering food online. The next thing Groww did to make it easy for customers to get into investing is to educate them about the financial markets. And I'm not talking about writing blogs or making some videos. They built an entire content empire. So if you go on YouTube, they have channels for 8 different Indian languages. In addition, they have different channels for different IPs, like a separate channel to discuss mutual funds, another channel to just discuss IPOs, and many more. Here you'll get videos almost about everything under the sun about the capital markets, whether it's some mutual fund you want to invest in, or learn a concept, or just want to learn about a company. And this was just on YouTube. Even on Google search, if you search things about India's capital markets, you will get articles from Groww. And in my opinion, I can't think of any other company in India that has used content at such scale. And for Groww, this content helped them in 2 ways. Firstly, it educated their existing user base about Indian markets and hence gave them more business. But more importantly, it gave them an organic reach among the audience which wasn't their customer, and it saved them a lot of marketing money. And the final thing that I want to talk about that Groww did for customers is that it made it extremely easy for customers to take the first step in investing.
Just an example of this customer centricity, in the early days, there were lots of mutual fund distribution companies, and they would all offer what are called regular plans, where users have to pay a 1% commission. And Groww made the choice of going after what are called direct plans, where the users pay effectively 0% commission, and that is cheaper for users.
Same way for stock market investing, Groww made the entire process of account opening and registration so easy that in most cases you just needed to give your Aadhaar and PAN number, and the entire process of registration and verification took just minutes. And because of all these steps, today Groww is the #1 player when it comes to stockbrokers in India. In 2023, Groww surpassed Zerodha to be the #1 player, and at the time it had 66 lakh monthly active investors, a number which by the way today has doubled to 1.2 crore. Zerodha is #2 on the list with around 75.8 lakh active users in 2025. And even though there's a big gap between these two in terms of users, Zerodha is way ahead when it comes to revenue and profits. In FY25, while Grow's revenue was 4,056 crore rupees, Zerodha's revenue was more than double at around 8,500 crore rupees. Same way in profits, Zerodha is more than double compared to Groww. And this is actually a big problem for Groww, something that they are feeling now. See, Grow's bet was that they will first focus on acquiring users as much as possible and then focus on increasing the revenue per user. But the problem now is that RBI is cracking down on stockbroking platform. And according to analysts, the stockbroking business is no longer as lucrative as it was a year ago. Now, you guys will know that RBI is tightening the regulations for brokers, mainly because more than 90% people lose money in futures and options trading. And this is a big problem for companies like Zerodha and Groww, but more so for Groww because it is going public soon. Now, if you as a company are going public and your main business, which in this case is stockbroking, is under attack, then you are in big trouble. So what Groww is doing now is it is slowly taking steps to become more than just a stockbroker. It wants to become a financial service company where it will offer everything from broking, mutual funds, lending, insurance broking, payment solution, and wealth management. And the company has already started working on all these new verticals, and its lending vertical is already showing great results. The company's interest income from loans and margin trading facility together grew 10x in FY25, and then it again more than doubled in the quarter ended June. And Groww understands the value of lending. It knows that India has a massive credit deficit, and so there will be a huge demand for loans, and that's what the company will focus a lot on now. For example, in its upcoming IPO, the company is raising 1,060 crore rupees from fresh issue of the shares, and it has already earmarked more than third of it towards investment in its lending business. So it will be really interesting to see that if retail investors agree to the company's pitch, that it's not just a discount broker, because frankly $8 billion valuation which Groww is asking for at the IPO is a lot for just a broker. Anyways, let me know what you think. Can Groww diversify from just being a broker to become a successful financial service company, or will it face tough competition from players like PhonePe and Paytm? Let me know in the comments. Also share your main takeaway from this journey of Groww in the comments as well. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.